national security.
Yeah, the guidelines, along with that animated video, have been released by the Hong Kong Education Bureau and aim to bolster compliance with what is a controversial national security law which came into effect last June. Kristie Stout has been following all of this, joins us now from Hong Kong. I guess after last month's mass arrest, the national security law crackdown, now targeting schools. Tell us how.
That's right. They're targeting the classroom right now. For the first time since Beijing imposed this national security law on Hong Kong in June of last year, the Hong Kong Education Bureau has released these guidelines, effectively bringing this law into the classroom. Now, under these new guidelines, students as young as 6 years old will learn the names of the individual main national security law offenses: subversion, secession, terrorism, and colluding with foreign forces. They will also learn etiquette, the proper way to raise a flag, the proper way to sing the national anthem. They will also learn the people and the institutions that protect Hong Kong, including healthcare workers, Hong Kong police, as well as the People's Liberation Army. Now, as for older students, secondary students, they will learn what constitutes a national security law offense, which is punishable with up to life in prison. Now, this new curriculum also includes these, and you just showed a snippet of it, these instructional animated videos that are tailor-made for younger students. They come in Cantonese as well as Mandarin and English. And in these videos, I'll bring it up for you full screen, we see these cute animated kids interacting with a wise animated owl, learning about the national security law. We heard earlier from the Hong Kong government in a statement that they released, they laid out the goals for the guidelines. In this statement, I'll bring it up, it says this, quote, "The fundamentals of national security education are to develop in students a sense of belonging to the country, an affection for the Chinese people, a sense of national identity, as well as an awareness of and a sense of responsibility for safeguarding national security." Michael, the Hong Kong government has been under immense pressure to reform its educational system after the pro-Beijing camp and Chinese state-run media blamed the liberal curriculum and educators here in Hong Kong for the 2019 Hong Kong protests that involved thousands of students. Michael.
How then, I mean, this is extraordinary to look at. I mean, it's sort of, that sort of link between, what is propaganda and what is education. I mean, how are educators dealing with this? How are they taking it?
It is extraordinary to look. It's like national security law, schoolhouse rock, when you look at these animated videos. Look, there are some educators that welcome the clarity. There have been months since the national security law was imposed where educators and principals did not know what the red lines were. So now we know the red lines. But there are some educators, and one, a vice chairman of the Hong Kong Professional Teachers Union, who spoke out and directly addressed this issue earlier today in a press conference. He expressed dismay and concern that teachers and parents were not consulted before the Hong Kong government released these guidelines. Take a listen to what he said earlier.
Well, there is a lot of sensitivity and unpredictability in the issue. It will bring about huge pressure or even anxiety among principals and teachers.
Since the national security law was imposed in Hong Kong last year, in June of last year, there has been pressure and anxiety for opposition lawmakers, for dissidents and activists. Now, as you heard just then, there is pressure and anxiety for educators here in Hong Kong. Michael.
Wow, extraordinary. Great report to Kristie Stout in Hong Kong. Thanks so much.